What's up, everybody? Today we're going to continue the 30 on 30, and today's team of the day is the Detroit Tigers. Yes, the lowly Tigers. They've had a couple rough years. Obviously, they're kind of in that perpetual rebuilding phase. Kind of where the Tampa Bay Rays were like a decade ago when they got like multiple. Every year it was like a number one, a number two, a number three draft pick, and then a couple years later, they had all these good players, David Price and the rest of them. The Tigers are kind of on that path right now. Even though they still have some older veterans like Miguel Cabrera, costly veterans, but they're in the position now where they're going to be transferring and kind of giving some of these young guys like Casey Mize an opportunity to take over as the ace, even though they have Matthew Boyd and they've got Michael Fulmer. Things just really haven't panned out for those two guys. There was a lot of promise, but they've had issues staying healthy and unfortunately. So guys like Mize and some of these other position players. This is an opportunity for them to kind of make some moves. I think a lot of the pieces for them are going to be incremental. I do see starting pitching and catching and maybe infield, a versatile infield player as like their most identifying needs. Aside from that, I think they're going to give a lot of their top prospects, a chance to see what they have. Clear off some of that big payroll before they start investing again. Starting pitching, I've identified a need. Obviously, everybody wants to bring Trevor Bauer in, but I don't see him as a fit in Detroit. I don't think they're going to. It doesn't make sense to bring him in there when they're not anywhere near contending. So, you have somebody like, Corey Kluber would not even be a fit there in my opinion either, or a Taiwan Walker maybe, but I'm thinking more lines of a Mike Minor or acquiring Lance Lynn in a minor trade or something like that, or giving up prospect for Lynn. But I don't even see them doing that because I think they're going to be using these top prospects to see whether they're going to pan out in the majors. So maybe a Taiwan Walker or an incremental pitcher like Minor. I don't see them doing much. I see them giving these young kids a shot. Catcher, I think they should re-sign Alex Avila, who's been there for a while, and maybe even Austin Romine, and let them rotate with each other. Kind of be like a Tampa Bay with Zunino and the other catcher there. Give these guys an opportunity to rotate until their top catching prospect is ready to rock and roll. And in the meantime, just keep getting high draft picks if they're not competing, and make sure that the system is in place behind them to develop these guys. Because I do want to see guys like Casey Mize, who have ace potential, pan out. And it was crazy because several years ago they had Scherzer, Verlander, David Price on the same rotation. Which was insane. So I want to see them get to that point where you have like a Mize and one of these other top pitching prospects, if it's not Boyd, combining with Boyd or something, but I want to see them get to that point. So pitching is obviously a need, but they're going to do incrementally, I think. I think they should. Same goes with catcher. I think just re-signing a guy or re-signing those two guys and letting them rotate back and forth. They're serviceable. And, they'll do the job for the Tigers. They handle the rotation. They'll be fine. And then, versatile infielder. I think they should bring in somebody like Jurickson Profar because he can play multiple infield positions. He can play the outfield. He offers them versatility. He's only 28. He's not going to break the bank. He was one of the MLB's top prospects just a few years ago. And he'll give them a veteran presence to kind of complement with some of the other guys that they have there. Again, I don't see them making a big expenditure. Their last ones, Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder, they were gigantic expenditures. So it just doesn't make sense for them to do that right now. And I don't think many teams, and I've said this in other videos, I don't think many teams are going to be spending buku money anyway because MLB lost $3 billion last year due to COVID. So that's an average of, if you break it down into 30 teams, it's an average of $100 million per team. So teams are obviously going to be frugal, and there's no guarantee there's going to be a full capacity fans or whatnot when the season starts again. We just don't know where we're going to be. Hopefully we'll be in a better place, but we don't know. I'm confident now. I'm more confident than I was before that we'll be in a better place, but we'll see if the cooperation goes along and they're able to work together and get this thing done. So just want everybody to be safe. I want these guys to be able to play and want the fans to be able to come back and enjoy, me included. So that's kind of what I see them doing incrementally, and that's what I think they should do, actually. What I think they will do, they may, I actually, and I don't see them making any, significant pitching, just like maybe a Mike Minor, somebody like that. That's pretty much the extent, or Taiwan Walker. Who's more of a power arm. I think he'll wind up somewhere else. But Mike Minor is probably the more logical signing for them, or just somebody who's been around for like a veteran, even an older veteran. Don't see them doing much else. James McCann, I actually see them, making a play for him and giving him a decent contract and bringing him back. I know he was there before, but I can see him coming back. And crazier things have happened. And if they don't, then I could see them bringing back Avila or Romine, because those are the moves I think they should do. This is the move that I think they will likely do. But again, I wouldn't be surprised either way, whichever move they did. And again, this is a kind of team that's going to be undergoing a several-year rebuild. But I think they're going to be filtering in, a free agent here, a couple of affordable free agents. And even though my MLB free agent predictions video, which is down below in the description, so watch it if you haven't yet, I only go over like the first 40 or 42 players, but there's 150 other free agents that are not on the list that will be signed, and teams will bring in 3 or 4 of them. So that's where I think they're going to make their moves, like a bunch of other teams. So, by the way, I'm sticking in the Central right now. All the rest of the teams that I've done so far in the Central in the description down below as well, so take a look at them. The only teams I have left after the Tigers are the Pirates and the Royals. And then I'm going to move over to the West. I alternate National League and American League each day. And then I'll move over to the East after that. So this is my 30 on 30. So today is day, I think we're day 8. This is day 8 of 30. And so going back to catching, I think they'll sign somebody like James McCann. And in terms of the versatile infield, I see him signing somebody more like Jonathan Shoop. Who's been with the Twins and so on. That's type of player. He's a good contact hitter. He's performs decently, and he's a good serviceable player. Again, gives him that versatility. So none of the moves are going to be sexy, at least in my opinion. But strangely enough, teams don't always make the sexiest moves, but they can see substantial improvement. And these guys have nowhere to go but up. So giving their young players and their young prospects a chance to really play, to see what they have, and combining them or pairing them up with some veterans, some serviceable veterans, is probably the right move for the Detroit Tigers to do right now. But again, crazy things have happened. You never know. Their owner is pretty wealthy, and he might bring in somebody on a crazy deal, or he may sign 2 people on a crazy deals. Crazier things have happened. So many moves every year happen where you least expect it, and you're like, oh my God, they signed him? Really? What the fuck? But it happens. So that's pretty much what I have the Detroit Tigers doing. Let me know what you think about the Tigers. They clearly have more needs, but these seem to be the most apparent ones that need kind of immediate attention. I could see them bringing in maybe 2 or 3 starters, even if they're number 3s, 4s, 5s, older guys and whatnot, just given the pitching rotation depth, because they've had trouble staying healthy, particularly Boyd and Fulmer. Fulmer was coming back from Tommy John. Those were their top 2s in a while, but now they have Casey Myers coming up, and he's a stud-looking pitcher. I mentioned him earlier, and so they're probably going to want to build around him. And I wouldn't be surprised if they moved Fulmer and Boyd, or one or the other, or both at some point, because they will bring back a decent prospect package. So we'll see. That's my outlook and my predictions for the Detroit Tigers. If you're a Tigers fan, sorry it's not a sexier video, but I think the best way to kind of rebuild and reshuffle is by incremental pieces and giving these young kids a chance. I wish more teams did that. And if they have a valuable piece they might be able to trade away, let them trade them away and restock the farm a little bit. A lot more teams I think should do that. So, and I think they're in a position to maybe recoup a little bit of prospect value from a couple of their veteran players. Unfortunately, I don't think Cabrera is going to go anywhere. But if he can just perform at a moderate level, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer too. So, whatever you can get from him, obviously it'd probably be better for him to move to DH where he's not on the field. But we'll see what happens there too. I do want to see the Tigers play well because they're just fun to watch too, and I like kids like Mize and some of these younger folks as well. So they have a decent top 5 prospect. Their top 5 prospects are pretty solid. They have pretty good potential. So hopefully, they all pan out. But we'll see. that's my video. Again, my next one's the Pirates. The one after that's the Royals. Not every video is going to be sexy, but keep in mind, it doesn't have to be. And teams will be good without the sexy moves. So I hope the best for the Tigers. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. If this is your first time to the channel, by the way, welcome. Hope you enjoyed enough to come back. My regulars, you guys, you know you're the best. And be safe, and I will talk to you in the next time when we're in Pittsburgh.